My precious child, my chosen one, do not turn away. I know the weight that is pressing against your chest in this very moment. I see you sitting in the stillness of the night, or perhaps lost in the deafening noise of a world that never stops demanding more of you. It is 3 o'clock in the morning, and the silence of your room has become a laboratory for your anxieties. You watch the red numbers on the clock tick away each second, feeling like a hammer blow against your peace. You look at the ceiling, and it feels as though the very walls are closing in, heavy with the prayers you've whispered and the tears you've hidden from everyone else. I am here breathing in the space between your heartbeats. I am the silence that holds you, and the light that the darkness cannot extinguish. You didn't stumble upon this message by accident. I have orchestrated this intersection of time and eternity because I heard the cry of your soul that was too deep for words. I saw you when you reached for your phone hoping for a distraction, but what you were really seeking was me. I saw the exhaustion etched into your spirit, the kind of weariness that sleep cannot fix. You are at the edge of your strength, but my beloved, that is exactly where my power begins its greatest work. I have watched you carry the world on your shoulders as if you were the one who created it. I saw you scrolling through the digital echoes of other people's lives, comparing your private battles to their public highlights. I saw you calculating your bills in your head, wondering how the math of your life will ever add up. I saw the way you replayed that conversation from 3 years ago, wishing you had said something different, or the way you fear a future that hasn't even happened yet. My child, I see the secret wounds, the ones you don't even have names for, the ones that make you feel like you are falling apart. But I want you to hear me clearly. You are not falling apart. You are falling into my purpose. You are not breaking. You are being broken open so that I can fill you with something far greater than your own strength. You were never designed to be the sustainer of your own life. You were never meant to be the pillar that holds up the heavens. That is my job. I am the great. I am the one who speaks stars into existence and knows the number of hairs on your head. I have seen your silent battles, and I am stepping into the room right now to declare a verdict over your life. The season of carrying this alone is over. Before I reveal the divine mystery of the 10-second shift that will alter the very atmosphere of your home, I invite you to perform an act of faith. Do not let this moment pass by as just another video. Declare your presence in my sanctuary. Like this message right now to signal your agreement with the peace of heaven, and subscribe to this channel to lock your heart into this frequency of grace. This is your signal to the spiritual realm that you are stepping out of the chaos and into my rest. If you are ready to let go of the weights that have kept you awake, type "I am here, Lord," or 7007 in the comments below. By doing this, you are opening the gates of your heart and inviting my spirit to move. Do not stay silent while I am speaking. Your words are seeds, and your engagement is a testimony that you believe a miracle is possible. Join this family of believers, for I am building a house of peace for you here. There is a shift coming, a divine acceleration that requires only 10 seconds of your total surrender. You have spent years trying to figure it all out, hours analyzing your mistakes, and days worrying about tomorrow. But I am asking for only 10 seconds. In these 10 seconds, the atmosphere of your room will change from a place of mourning to a temple of my presence. I am not asking for a lifetime of perfection. I am asking for a moment of absolute trust. Most people make a critical mistake. They pray with their lips, but keep their hands gripped tightly around their problems. They ask me to take the burden, but they refuse to let go of the weight. Tonight, I am going to teach you how to stop being the architect of your own stress and start being the recipient of my supernatural rest. There is a specific error you make right after you say amen. that cancels the very miracle you just asked for. I am going to show you exactly what it is, and I am going to give you the key to a peace that surpasses all understanding. The room is changing already, my child. Can you feel the warmth? Can you feel the pressure lifting? The 10-second shift is beginning, and your life will never be the same. Now, my beloved child, let me reveal to you the true nature of prayer, for many of my children have been taught to treat it like a negotiation or a desperate plea from a beggar to a king. But you are not a beggar. You are my heir. Prayer is not you trying to convince me to do something I don't want to do. It is not a marathon of words designed to weary me into answering. True prayer is a divine handoff. Imagine you are carrying a massive stone that is crushing your strength, and I am standing before you with open arms. Prayer is the 10-second window where you stop gripping that stone and let it drop into my palms. It is a legal transfer of weight. When you pray with anxiety, you are still holding the stone while asking me why it is so heavy. But tonight, we are going to change the protocol. We are going to move from begging to believing, from struggling to surrendering. This is not about the length of your words, but the depth of your release. In the next 10 seconds, I am going to guide you through a sacred exchange that will clear the air in your room and the shadows in your mind. Let us begin the mechanics of this shift, and I want you to do this with the focus of a soul standing at the edge of eternity. For the first 2 seconds, I want you to speak only one name, Jesus. Do not say it with the haste of a habit, but with the weight of its authority. When you whisper, "My son's name," you are not just making a sound. You are invoking the name that is above every name. You are calling upon the one who conquered the grave, the one who holds the keys to every locked door in your life. In those first 2 seconds, as the name leaves your lips, feel the frequency of your room change. The atmosphere must bow to that name. The spirits of heaviness, the demons of doubt, and the ghosts of your past must move back to create a corridor for my glory. As we move into seconds 3 through 7, I want you to speak these words into the silence. Father, I trust you take this from me. I want you to linger on the word trust. Trust is not a feeling. It is a posture of the heart that says, even if I cannot see the path, I know the guide. When you say, take this from me, I want you to visualize exactly what this is. Is it the fear of your bank account being empty? Is it the pain of a betrayal that still stings like an open wound? Is it the diagnosis that the doctor gave you? Whatever it is, move it from the my category to the his category. It is no longer my problem. It is my Father's assignment. In these 5 seconds, you are performing a spiritual surgery. You are detaching your identity from your crisis. You are acknowledging that while the storm is real, the anchor is greater. I am the great provider, and I cannot work on what you refuse to let go of. When you say, take it, I am legally bound by my love and my word to catch what you drop. Finally, in the last 3 seconds, from 8 to 10, I want you to do something very simple yet profoundly spiritual. I want you to breathe out. As you exhale, imagine every ounce of tension leaving your shoulders, your jaw, and your chest. This is a physiological sigh, a physical echo of your soul's surrender. In this breath, you are releasing the how and the when of your miracle. You are allowing the Holy Spirit to fill the vacuum where your worry used to live. As you breathe, feel a supernatural peace, a peace that does not make sense to the world, begin to drift into your room like a gentle healing mist. It is a peace that stands guard over your heart and mind. You will notice that the room feels lighter, the shadows seem thinner, and the weight on your chest has vanished. This is the shift. This is the moment you stop fighting and start resting in the arms of the one who never sleeps. My child, I want to pull back the curtain on a deception that has been quietly draining your life force. There is a whisper that haunts your bedside, a subtle and poisonous lie that says, if I let go, everything will fall apart. If I stop worrying, the problem will win. If I sleep, I am losing ground. You have been conditioned by a world that celebrates hustle and idolizes anxiety, leading you to believe that your vigilance is what keeps your universe in orbit. This lie has turned your bed into a boardroom and your pillow into a battlefield. You lay there with your eyes closed, but your mind racing, trying to solve puzzles that don't have human solutions. You feel a heavy responsibility to manage every outcome, to fix every broken heart, and to prevent every potential disaster. But I am here to tell you tonight that this burden was never yours to carry. Your worry is not a form of protection. It is a form of spiritual exhaustion that keeps you from seeing the hand of the one who actually holds the world together. This lie is rooted in a subconscious pride that you may not even realize is there. It is the belief that you are the ultimate sustainer of your life. When you refuse to rest because you are afraid of what might happen while you are off duty, you are essentially saying that my grace is not enough and that my watchfulness is insufficient. But look at the stars, my precious one. Did you help me hang them in the velvet of the night? Look at the tides of the great oceans. Do they require your permission to ebb and flow? I am the one who commands the morning and shows the dawn its place. The sun rises every single day without you pulling it up from the horizon. Your heart beats thousands of times a day without you ever having to remember to tell it to do so. If I can manage the complex choreography of the galaxies and the microscopic miracles inside your very cells, do you not think I can manage your bank account, your relationships, and your future while you close your eyes in peace? The truth is that the world does not stop spinning when you stop worrying. In fact, it is often in your stillness that I do my most profound work. While you are trying to figure it out, you are actually getting in the way of me fleshing it out. Your anxiety creates a noise that drowns out the gentle instructions of my spirit. By believing the lie that you must be the savior of your own circumstances, you are pushing out the very peace, confidence, and creativity that you need to overcome them. You have a limited amount of room in your soul, like a container. If you allow the lie of necessary worry to take up space, you leave no room for the miracles that are already on their way to you. I have an appointed time for every promise to pass, and your sleeplessness will not accelerate my clock. It will only make you too tired to enjoy the blessing when it finally arrives. It is time to stop being the manager of the universe and start being my beloved child. Do not let the enemy convince you to stay in the prison of what if. Instead, let your heart align with the one who never slumbers nor sleeps. My silence during your struggles is never abandonment. It is often a test of what you have learned about my character. I am training you to be a victor, not a victim of your thoughts. Rock bottom is not the end. It is the foundation upon which I am building a stronger, more resilient version of you. I didn't bring you this far to leave you in the dark. I am working behind the scenes, aligning the stars and moving the hearts of people you haven't even met yet. Your only job in this moment is to recognize the lie for what it is and choose to believe the truth. The truth is that I am your shield, your provider, and your peace. You are not behind. You are being built. You are not breaking. You are becoming. Tonight, let the lie die so that my peace can live in you. My precious child, do not let the world confuse your soul. You have been taught that to be valuable, you must be busy. That to be successful, you must be exhausted. But in my kingdom, the greatest work is often done in the deepest rest. Rest is not a sign of laziness. It is a profound act of spiritual warfare. It is a posture of the heart that says, I trust my Father more than I trust my own efforts. When you choose to rest despite the chaos surrounding you, you are making a declaration to the unseen realm that you believe I am exactly who I say I am. You are signaling that you are no longer a slave to the hustle of the world, but a child of the Most High who is well cared for. True rest is not the absence of work, but the absence of worry. It is the ability to do what is necessary with your hands while your heart remains seated at my right hand in peace. Think back to that dark night on the Sea of Galilee. A great storm arose, and the waves were crashing over the sides of the boat, threatening to swallow everything whole. My son, the Prince of Peace, was in that boat. And where was he? He was not frantically bailing out water. He was not shouting orders to the wind in a panic. He was asleep on a cushion in the stern. To the disciples, his rest looked like indifference. They cried out, Master, do you not care that we are perishing? But my son's rest was not a lack of concern. It was a manifestation of his absolute confidence in my authority. He slept because he knew that no storm could sink the boat that carried the purpose of heaven. He slept because he was in perfect alignment with my will. When he finally stood and rebuked the wind, it was from a place of rested authority, not panicked desperation. I am calling you tonight to adopt that same posture, the posture of sleeping in the storm. The wind may be howling around your finances, and the waves of sickness may be crashing against your family. But I am in the boat with you. If the Creator of the universe is not worried, why should you be? When you force yourself to stay awake in anxiety, you are trying to do what only I can do. But when you yield, when you lay your head down and trust me with the outcome, you are exercising a level of faith that moves mountains. Your rest is a weapon that disarms the enemy. He wants you tired, he wants you frantic, and he wants you reactive. But when you are still, you become a vessel for my supernatural power. It is time to decide that your house is built upon the rock, and though the rain descends and the floods come, you shall not be moved because you are resting in me. Be still and know that I am God. These words are not a suggestion. They are a command for your soul to find its center. To be still does not mean to do nothing. It means to stop your inner frantic movement. It means to quiet the voices of what if and how will I, so that you can hear the whisper of I am. In the stillness, you will find the strategy you've been looking for. In the rest, you will find the strength you thought you had lost. I am getting you prepared to handle the weight of the blessing that is coming, but that blessing requires a greater maturity and a character forged in the quietness of trust. You are being trained to be a leader of peace in a world of chaos. Take this moment, take this breath, and move into the posture of the promised land. My beloved child, I have felt the silent weight that occupies the deepest corners of your heart. It is a burden heavier than your own financial lack or your own physical pain. It is the weight of the people you love. I have seen you lying awake, not staring at your own reflection, but looking at the empty space in the room where a child should be, or staring at the phone, waiting for a text that never comes from someone who has wandered far away. I have seen the tears you shed for your husband, your wife, your parents, or that friend who is spiraling into a darkness you cannot reach. You feel a desperate, suffocating responsibility to be their savior. You think that if you worry enough, pray long enough, or intervene hard enough, you can force them into the light. You have taken their choices, their mistakes, and their suffering onto your own shoulders, and it is crushing the life out of you. But tonight, I want to ask you a question that will change everything. Do you truly believe that you love them more than I do. I saw you when you were crying out for their protection, and I want you to know that I was already there standing over them while they were unaware. I saw you trying to fix their brokenness, but I am the one who designed their very soul. Listen to my voice. I loved them before they were ever yours. I saw them in their mother's womb. I have numbered every hair on their head just as I have numbered yours. I am the one who died for them. You did not. I am the one who has a plan for their redemption. You are only a witness to it. When you carry the burden of their salvation, you are trying to do my job, and it is a job you were never meant to handle. Your worry is not a shield for them. It is a chain for you. By holding on so tightly, you are actually standing in the way of the divine encounters I have prepared for them. You must step back so that I can step in. You must release the grip of your anxiety so that my grace can have room to move in their lives. If you are ready to stop being the savior and start being the intercessor, if you are ready to place the people you love into the only hands that can truly heal them, then this is a moment of profound spiritual transition. By releasing them, you are performing a spiritual act of transfer. You are declaring to the heavens that you trust my timing and my love more than your own control. Do not let the enemy tell you that letting go is giving up. Letting go is the ultimate act of faith. It is saying, Father, they are yours. I want you to close your eyes for a moment and visualize a sacred ritual. Imagine you are holding the people you love in your open palms. See their faces, feel the weight of your concern for them. Now I want you to see my hands, large, scarred, and radiating a light that no darkness can overcome. Slowly, intentionally, I want you to move your hands over mine and let them go. Watch as they fall into the safety of my palm. See me close my fingers around them, sheltering them, protecting them, and beginning a work of restoration that you cannot even imagine. This is not you abandoning them. This is you promoting them to the care of the King of Kings. I can go where you cannot go. I can speak to their hearts in the middle of the night when they won't listen to your words. I can orchestrate circumstances that will bring them back to their senses, just as I did for the prodigal son. Your role is not to control them. Your role is to love them and trust me. Cast your cares on the Lord, and He will sustain you. He will never let the righteous be shaken. This promise from Psalm 55 is your anchor tonight. When you cast the care of your loved ones onto me, you are not just getting rid of a problem. You are laying hold of my sustaining power. You can sleep tonight because I am the one standing guard over their destiny. You can breathe again because the weight of their future is no longer on your chest. It is in my heart. The miracle you have been begging for is already on the way, but it will come through my wisdom, not your worry. From this moment on, every time the anxiety tries to return, simply whisper, Father, they are yours. I have them, my child. I have them, and I have you. Relax into my love and watch what I will do. My precious one, we must talk about the thin, invisible line between intercession and interference. I see the agony in your soul as you watch someone you love make choices that lead to their own destruction. Your instinct is to build a wall around them, to snatch the consequences out of their hands before they feel the sting, and to manage their every step. But I must tell you a hard truth when your love turns into a desperate need to control their outcome. You are no longer acting in faith. You are acting in fear. Control is often a mask that anxiety wears. It is a subtle way of saying that you don't trust me to handle their rebellion or their journey. You have become a fixer, but in doing so, you have accidentally become an obstacle to the very lesson I am trying to teach them. I love them with an everlasting love, but part of that love involves allowing them the dignity of their own choices, even the painful ones. Think of the story I told of the father and his two sons. When the younger son demanded his inheritance, an act of profound disrespect and rebellion, did the father argue? Did he follow him into the far country to make sure he was eating well or to pay his debts? No. The father did the hardest thing a heart can do. He let him go. He stood at the edge of the property and watched his child walk into the sunset of a broken life. He didn't send messengers to bring him back or care packages to soften his fall. He knew that if he rescued his son from the consequences of his choices, he would be rescuing him from the very circumstances that would eventually bring him to his senses. He understood that sometimes love must be silent. Love must wait. Love must allow the pig's pen to do its work. You are terrified that if they hit rock bottom, they will stay there. But I want you to see rock bottom from my perspective. For many of my chosen ones, rock bottom was the only place where the ground was firm enough to build a new life. It was in the stench of the pig pen when the prodigal son had lost everything that he finally came to himself. If the father had intervened earlier, the son would have remained a spoiled rebel. Because the father had the courage to let him fail, the son gained the humility to return. You are trying to prevent the very pain that I am using as a compass to point them back home. Stop trying to bribe the guards of their prison. Let them feel the weight of the chains so they will finally cry out to the one who holds the key. This is the season of your own training and boundaries. You cannot carry someone else's cross. I have already carried the cross for everyone. When you try to bear their burden, you become exhausted, bitter, and spiritually drained, leaving you with no oil in your own lamp. I am calling you to a higher level of trust. If you believe that I am the God of the second chance and the third chance, and that I can redeem even the most wasted years, then show me by your silence and your peace. If you are ready to stop the cycle of control and trust my redemptive process, simply come into alignment with divine order. The door to their heart is one I am already knocking on. Step out of the way and watch how I move. Remember, my beloved, that my silence is not my absence. I am working in the hidden places of their heart in the moments when they are alone with their thoughts. I am the voice they hear in the middle of the night. I am the coincidence that stops them in their tracks. Your job is to stay on your knees in prayer, not on their back in judgment. When you release the need to control them, you find a rest you haven't known in years. You can sleep tonight knowing that the great shepherd is out in the wilderness looking for the one sheep that is lost. He doesn't need your directions to find them. He knows exactly where they are. Be still. Let go. I have them and I have you. The return of the prodigal is being prepared, but it requires you to be waiting at the gate with open arms, not running into the field with a leash. My child, I see you in the quiet of the night when the rest of the world is asleep, but your mind is running a marathon of numbers. I see the invisible calculator you hold in your hands as you stare at the ceiling trying to subtract your debts from your exhaustion, only to find that the math never seems to favor you. I have seen the tightness in your throat when you look at those bills on the kitchen table, the ones that seem to grow larger every time you blink. You are wondering how the ends will meet, how the rent will be paid, or how you will provide for the ones who depend on you. The spirit of lack has been whispering in your ear, telling you that you are one mistake away from ruin, that your bank account defines your worth, and that you are alone in this struggle. But I am here to tell you that I am the architect of the universe, and I do not use the world's accounting system. I want you to understand a profound spiritual truth that will break the back of poverty in your life. Your job is a channel, but I am the source. Your business is a pipe, but I am the reservoir. Too often you have mistaken the pipe for the water. When the pipe gets clogged or the channel dries up, you panic as if the source has failed. But look at me. I am the one who owns the cattle on 1,000 hills. I am the one who turned a few loaves and fish into a banquet for thousands. I am the one who can open windows in heaven that no man can shut. If one channel closes, it is only because I am preparing to open a wider, deeper, and more abundant one. Your provision does not depend on the economy of this world. It depends on the riches of my glory. Stop looking at the drought and start looking at the one who commands the rain. Remember my servant Elijah during the great famine. I did not send him to a grocery store or a bank. I sent him to a lonely brook and commanded the ravens, birds of prey, that usually steal food to bring him bread and meat every morning and every evening. It was illogical. It was impossible by human standards. But it was my way of showing that when the earth fails to provide, heaven steps in. I can move the hearts of strangers to favor you. I can cause a forgotten debt to be canceled or a sudden opportunity to land in your lap. I am the God of the sudden provision. You do not need to stay awake and calculate the how. You only need to rest in the who. If I can feed the birds of the air who neither sow nor reap, how much more will I clothe and feed you, O you of little faith? If you are ready to stop agreeing with the spirit of lack and start agreeing with the God of more than enough, then shift your heart from survival mode to surplus mode right now. Do not stay silent in the face of your fear. Speak back to the mountain. Declare that your trust is not in a paycheck, but in the provider. Your words are seeds of prosperity, and as you plant them in faith, you are inviting the dew of heaven to fall on your dry ground. I am not bringing you through this season of pressure to crush you, but to show you that you are fireproof. I am training you to manage the wealth of the kingdom, but that wealth requires a heart that is not enslaved to money. I want you to be a vessel, not a reservoir. When you stop stressing and start living your best life, you prove that I am alive and active in your affairs. Do not agree with the lack. I say you are well supplied. I say that every need is met according to my riches. Tomorrow when you wake up, do not look at your bank account first. Look at my promises. The trouble is not there to stop you. It is there to push you forward into a new level of your destiny. On the other side of this difficulty is a level of provision you have never seen before. Rest now, for I am working while you sleep. My beloved child, I see the way you scan your body for signs of decay, how every unexplained ache or sudden flutter of your heart sends your mind spiraling into a dark future. I see you in the middle of the night, searching for answers in the digital shadows, letting a screen tell you a story of sickness and despair. Fear of the unknown, especially within your own flesh, is a heavy chain that keeps you from the life I have prepared for you. But I want you to remember I am the great physician. I am the one who knit you together in your mother's womb. Every intricate detail of your anatomy, from the firing of your neurons to the rhythm of your pulse, was designed by my hand. Nothing in your body is a surprise to me. I am not a distant observer of your health. I am the one who sustains your very breath. Before you were even born, every day of your life was recorded in my book. Not a single second can be stolen from you that I have not permitted, and no illness is too complex for my touch. You worry that you are fragile, but I have made you resilient. You worry that death is lurking around the corner, but I have already conquered death. I want you to hear this truth deep in your spirit. Your anxiety will not add a single hour to your life, but it can certainly rob you of the joy of the hours you have right now. I am calling you to a partnership of peace. Be a good steward of the temple I have given you. Eat well, rest, and seek the wisdom I have given to healers and doctors. But once you have done your part, you must release the rest to me. You are a steward, not the owner. I am the one who holds the keys to life and death. When you surrender your health to me, you are moving out of the realm of fear and into the realm of my supernatural protection. I did not give you a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. If you are ready to stop being a prisoner of what if regarding your health and start trusting the one who designed your DNA, then let this be the moment you stop checking for symptoms and start checking my promises. This decision is an act of faith that releases healing into your very bones. Declare in your spirit that your body belongs to the King of Kings. I am your healer, and my peace is the best medicine for a weary soul. I want you to visualize my healing light flowing through you right now from the top of your head to the soles of your feet. Where there is tension, let there be ease. Where there is inflammation, let there be cooling grace. I am not just the God who heals the body. I am the God who restores the soul. Your scars are not signs of weakness. They are credentials of your survival and my faithfulness. Rock bottom in your health can become the foundation of a testimony that will encourage thousands. Stop trying to avoid the storm of uncertainty. Learn to stand in it with me. I have always carried you, and I am not about to stop now. Rest your head, my child. Your days are secure in my palm, and I have planned a future for you that is full of hope and life. My beloved child, have you noticed how the weight of your thoughts often manifests in the tension of your shoulders? I have seen you rubbing your temples in the dark, trying to massage away a headache that no medicine can reach. I have seen the unexplained fatigue that makes your limbs feel like lead, and the tightness in your chest that feels like an invisible hand is squeezing your heart. You think these are merely physical ailments, but I want to reveal a deeper truth to you tonight. Your body is an echo of your heart. It is the canvas upon which your soul writes its stories of unexpressed grief, suppressed anger, and hidden shame. When you carry a grudge, your bones feel the burden. When you walk in anxiety, your stomach mirrors the turbulence of your mind. I am the great architect, and I designed your spirit, soul, and body to be a unified temple. When one part suffers, the whole reflects it. I am not just coming to heal your symptoms. I am coming to heal the source. There is a wisdom I have woven into the fabric of creation. A heart at peace gives life to the body, but envy and bitterness rot the bones. Think about the things you have been holding onto the people who hurt you, the opportunities you missed, and the regrets that follow you like shadows. This bitterness is like a poison you drink, hoping it will harm someone else, but it only erodes your own vitality. Your body is screaming because your soul is silent. I see the silent tears that haven't been shed in years, the ones you locked away because you had to be strong for everyone else. But tonight I am inviting you to be weak in my presence so that I can be your strength. I want to wash away the resentment that has become a physical weight. I want to replace the rot of bitterness with the marrow of my joy. Healing is not just a miracle for your flesh. It is a restoration of your entire being. If you are ready to let my healing light penetrate the hidden places of your soul and radiate outward into your physical body, then open the doors of your heart to my spirit. This is a moment of divine alignment. Come into agreement with heaven's blueprint for your health right now. I am the Lord who heals you, and I am starting with the root of the pain. Imagine my hand resting gently on your heart right now. Feel the warmth of my love melting the ice of old wounds. As the walls of bitterness crumble, feel the pressure in your neck and back begin to lift. I am releasing the tension you've held since childhood. I am breathing life into your tired organs. You are not meant to be a warehouse for trauma. You are meant to be a vessel of my glory. When you forgive, you are not doing a favor for your enemy. You are performing a miracle for your own health. As you let go of the past, your future becomes lighter. I am making everything beautiful in its time, and that includes the restoration of your strength. Breathe deeply now. The atmosphere of your room is saturated with my presence. Your heart is finding its peace, and your body is beginning to echo the wholeness of my kingdom. Rest in this truth, you are being made new. My beloved child, there is a heavy rusted chain wrapped around your spirit, and I have seen how it drags behind you every time you try to move forward into the blessings I have prepared. This chain is the weight of unforgiveness. I see you in the quiet hours replaying the scenes of betrayal, the moments you were lied to, the times you were abandoned when you needed someone most. You keep a ledger in your mind, a record of every debt owed to your heart, and you wake up in the middle of the night to count the cost of your pain. You think that by holding on to this anger, you are somehow punishing the person who hurt you. But I want to show you the truth. Unforgiveness is like drinking poison and waiting for your enemy to die. It does not touch them, but it is slowly destroying the garden of your soul. It is the invisible wall between you and the deep, sweet rest I want to give you. You cannot sleep because you are still standing guard over a courtroom where you are the judge, the jury, and the jailer. I want to clarify something for your weary heart. Forgiveness does not mean that what they did was right. It does not mean you are calling evil good, and it certainly does not mean you have to walk back into a house of abuse or trust someone who has proven they are not trustworthy. Forgiveness is not a gift you give to them. It is a gift of self-liberation that you give to yourself. It is the act of handing the ledger over to me and saying, "Father, I am no longer going to spend my life trying to collect this debt. I trust you to be the righteous judge." When you forgive, you are cutting the umbilical cord that still feeds the pain of the past. You are deciding that your future is too bright to be darkened by someone else's shadow. I have already forgiven you for so much. I am asking you to let go of this weight so that you can finally be light enough to soar to the levels I have destined for you. If you are ready to cut the chains that have kept you tethered to your past and step into a peace you never knew existed, this is a moment of radical spiritual strength. It is time to release the debt and reclaim your joy. By doing this, you are opening the doors of your heart to a miracle of inner healing that only my spirit can perform. I want you to imagine the person or the situation that has caused you the most pain. See them standing before you, and see the invisible cord that connects your heart to their actions. Now see me standing there with the sword of the Spirit. As you make the decision to let go, watch as I sever that cord forever. You are no longer defined by what they did to you. You are defined by what I am doing in you. Your scars are not signs of shame. They are your credentials of survival and my grace. When you emerge from this hidden season of forgiveness, you will not be the same person who entered it. You will be stronger, wiser, and filled with a hope that cannot be shaken. The waiting room of your life has been a construction site, and tonight I am finishing the foundation of your peace. Breathe out the bitterness. Breathe in my unconditional love. The ledger is empty, and your rest is finally here. My beloved child, I hear the noise that fills the silence of your room when you are trying to sleep. I see you wrestling with thoughts that feel like jagged glass cutting into your peace and making you feel unworthy of my love. There is a voice that speaks in the dark, reminding you of every mistake you've ever made, highlighting every flaw and whispering that you are a failure, a disappointment, or that it is simply too late for you. It tells you that my silence is my abandonment, and that your struggles are my punishment. I want you to listen closely to me tonight. That voice is not mine. I am your father, not your accuser. I am your advocate, not your judge. Many of my children are held captive by a spirit of condemnation, believing that the heavy, hopeless cloud over their minds is my spirit speaking to them. But I have come to set the record straight so that you can finally rest. You must learn to distinguish between the voice of the enemy and the whisper of my spirit. Condemnation which comes from the enemy is vague, heavy, and leads to despair. It says you are a bad person, but it never gives you a way out. It points you back to the shame of your past and makes you want to hide from my presence. But my voice, the voice of conviction, is specific, gentle, and always carries a seed of hope. When I speak to you about a mistake, I do it to lead you to a solution. I don't point at your wound to hurt you. I point at it so you will allow me to heal it. My spirit says this choice was wrong, but I have a better way for you. Come to me and let us fix this together. Condemnation pushes you down into the dirt. My conviction pulls you up into my arms. If the voice you are hearing makes you feel like giving up, it is a lie from the pit of darkness. If you are ready to silence the accuser and tune your ears to the frequency of my grace, do not stay silent. This is a moment to reclaim your mental sanctuary. This is your act of faith to shut the door on the lies of the enemy. Cast out the spirit of heaviness and invite the spirit of praise. Do not let the enemy have the last word in your life tonight. Declare your identity in me and watch the shadows flee. My precious one, remember that I am not looking for a perfect person. I am looking for a willing heart. I knew every mistake you would make before I even called you by name, and I called you anyway. You are not a mistake, and you are not being punished. You are being trained. The pressure you feel is not my anger. It is my hand shaping you into a vessel of honor. When the voice of doubt says, "You'll never get well," or "You'll never get out of this debt," remember that I am the God of the impossible. I am the one who makes a way where there is no way. Stop trying to defend yourself against the lies and simply fall into my purpose. My silence is not a sign that I have left you. It is a test of what you have learned about my character. I did not bring you this far to leave you. Sleep now knowing that the only voice that matters is the one that says, "I love you with an everlasting love." My child, do you realize that you have become a time traveler in your own mind? I see you constantly jumping back to the shadows of what was or leaping forward to the monsters of what might be. You spend your days haunted by the ghosts of if only, and your nights hunted by the specters of what if. But I want you to listen to my name. I am the great I am. I am not the I was, for your past is already covered by the blood and washed away. I am not the I will be in a way that leaves you alone today. I exist in the eternal now. My presence, my power, and my peace are only accessible to you in the sacred space of this very moment. When you dwell in the past, you find depression. When you dwell in the future, you find anxiety. But when you dwell in the present, you find me. Peace is not the absence of trouble in your future. It is the presence of your Father in your today. You are leaking your divine strength into days that haven't arrived, yet leaving you too exhausted to see the miracles I am performing right in front of your eyes. Remember the lesson I gave to my people in the wilderness when they were hungry and afraid. Every morning I rained down manna from heaven to feed them. It was a miracle of provision, but it came with a strict command they could only gather enough for that one day. If they tried to stockpile it out of fear for tomorrow, the manna would rot and grow worms by morning. I was not being cruel. I was teaching them the manna principle. I wanted them to trust in my reliability, not in their own inventory. I do not give you the grace for next month's surgery or next year's bills today. I give you the grace for the next breath, the next step, and the next 10 seconds. You are crumbling under the weight because you are trying to carry a week's worth of worry with only a day's worth of strength. Stop trying to eat tomorrow's manna today. I have already been to your future, and I have already set the table for you there. Your only task is to be present with me now. It is time to stop the frantic time travel of your mind and anchor your soul in the peace of the present. This is the moment to align your spirit with the eternal now. You are no longer a slave to the what-ifs. You are choosing to stand on the rock of the present moment. My grace is sufficient for you right here and right now. Close your eyes for a second and just breathe. Feel the air entering your lungs. That is my gift of life to you in the present. In this moment, are you truly lacking anything? In this very second, while you hear my voice, you are safe, you are loved, and you are held. The door to peace is not at the end of your journey. It is found in the stillness of the now. When you stay in the present, you become aware of the subtle whispers of my spirit that you usually miss because you were too busy worrying about a Tuesday that hasn't happened yet. My grace is a fresh stream that only flows in the present. Step into the water. Let the past go and let the future wait in my hands. You are with me, and in this moment, everything is exactly as it should be. Rest in the I am and let the peace of today be enough. My child, I am giving you a command tonight, not to restrict you, but to protect the sanctuary of your soul. I see you in the middle of the night when sleep evades you, reaching for that glowing rectangle of light in your hand. You think you are looking for a distraction or a way to numb the silence. But I want you to see the truth. That device is a portal for the spirit of chaos. When you scroll through the digital echoes of the world at 3 a.m., you are inviting 1,000 voices into a room where only mine should be heard. You are feeding your mind with the opinions of strangers and the bad news of the nations and the curated highlights of others' lives. So while I am standing right beside you, waiting to whisper a strategy for your breakthrough. This habit is like pouring salt into a wound. It keeps your brain in a state of high alert, preventing the deep, restorative rest that only my spirit can provide. From this moment on, make your bedroom a tabernacle. When you wake up in the night, do not touch the world. Touch the hem of my garment instead. There is another habit I am calling you to break tonight. That's the mental rehearsal of your battles. I see you lying there practicing the arguments you want to have with your boss, your spouse, or your enemies. You replay the moments you were disrespected, sharpening your words like swords in the dark. You think that by preparing for the conflict you are winning, but you are actually losing your peace. Every time you rehearse a negative conversation, you are digging up the seeds of faith I have planted in your heart. You are using your imagination, a gift I gave you to see my promises, to build a prison of bitterness. Stop the rehearsal. You do not need to defend yourself when the King of Kings is your advocate. Every word spoken against you will fall to the ground if you remain in my rest. Your silence is not weakness. It is the highest form of spiritual authority. When you refuse to argue in your mind, you allow me to fight for you in the reality of your life. Shut the door on the noise of the world and the echoes of the enemy. This is a moment to reclaim your night. Establish a new rule in your house. Choose the whisper of God over the roar of the world. Your peace is worth more than a screen, and I am your true defender. Instead of reaching for your phone or replaying your pain, I want you to return to the protocol of the 10 seconds. When the anxiety knocks, simply whisper my name for 2 seconds. In the next 5, hand the problem back to me. In the final 3, breathe out the tension. This is your strategy for victory. I am not asking you to do more. I am asking you to do less so that I can do everything. The night was created for rest, and you are my beloved. I give to my beloved even while they sleep. Stop the struggle and fall back into the arms of the one who has already solved the problem you are trying to analyze. Your breakthrough is not found in the glow of a screen or the sharpness of a retort. It is found in the stillness of my presence. Sleep now, my precious one, for the night. Rule is in effect, and my peace is your shield. My precious warrior, I want to change your perspective on the battles you are facing. You have been taught that warfare means shouting, striving, and exhausting yourself in a desperate attempt to defeat the darkness. But I want to let you in on a heavenly secret in my kingdom. Your rest is one of the most powerful weapons in your arsenal. When you choose to lie down and sleep in the middle of a storm, you are not being passive. You are exercising ultimate spiritual authority. Your rest is a direct insult to the enemy. It is a declaration that his threats have no power over you, and that his noise cannot disturb the peace I have placed within your soul. When you refuse to be frantic, you prove that you trust me more than you fear him. This absolute trust sends a shockwave through the spiritual realm. For the enemy has no counter strategy for a child of God who refuses to be shaken. The enemy's primary goal is to keep you in a state of chronic weariness. He knows that a tired soul is easily discouraged, a sleep-deprived mind is prone to doubt, and an exhausted spirit is slow to hear my whisper. He wants you to stay awake, pacing the floor and trying to solve problems that only I can fix. But I am calling you to turn the tables on him tonight. Yielding is not a sign of weakness. It is the highest form of strength. It is the posture that says, Holy Spirit, I am not in charge, you are. By yielding your need to control, you allow my spirit to move in ways your striving never could. While you rest, I am rearranging the circumstances of your life. While you sleep, I am moving the hearts of your adversaries and opening doors that were bolted shut. Your stillness is the very thing that allows my power to be perfected in your weakness. Pick up the weapon of rest and watch the enemy flee. This is a moment to claim your authority as a victor. You are not just a spectator. You are a participant in a divine victory that is won through trust. I am fighting for you while you remain still. I want you to know that as you close your eyes tonight, I am erecting a wall of fire around you and your household. I am the one who stands guard at the gates of your peace. You do not need to wake up every hour to check the perimeter. The commander of heaven's armies is on the watch. I did not bring you through the fires of your past to let you burn in the anxieties of your present. I am taking you through the fire to make you fireproof. When the world looks at you, they will wonder how you can remain so calm in such a turbulent season. Your peace will be a testimony that speaks louder than any sermon. It will show them that you serve a God who is alive, active, and absolutely faithful. Sleep now, my beloved warrior. The battle is mine, and the victory is already yours. The 10-second shift has moved you from the battlefield to the throne room. Rest in your authority. My beloved child, we have walked through the shadows of the night and stood together at the gates of a new dawn. I have shown you that your weariness is not a sign of failure, but a signal that you were never meant to carry the weight of the world. Now, as this message reaches its final resonance in your spirit, I am making you a formal offer, a divine trade that will alter the trajectory of your life. I am standing before you with my hands open, and I am asking you to hand over every remaining scrap of anxiety, every lingering what if, and every heavy ledger of past hurts. In exchange, I am giving you my supernatural peace, my unshakable confidence, and my divine rest. This is not a temporary relief. It is a permanent exchange of your limited strength for my limitless power. You give me your chaos, and I give you my order. You give me your fear, and I give you my future. Do not hesitate. Do not think you need to clean yourself up or fix your problems before you come to me. Bring the mess, bring the brokenness, and let the trade be finalized, right here, right now. Think of how far we have traveled in these moments together. We started in the suffocating silence of 3 a.m., where your room felt like a prison of thoughts. We learned the protocol of the 10-second shift of the name of Jesus, the handoff of the heart and the breath of surrender. We confronted the lies that stole your sleep and redefined your rest as an act of high-level spiritual warfare. We released the people you love into my capable hands and recognized that your provision flows from me, the source, and not from the drying channels of the world. You have learned that your health, your identity, and your very mind are protected by a wall of fire that the enemy cannot penetrate. This journey was not just for your information. It was for your transformation. You are no longer the same person who began listening to this message. You have been built, not broken. You have been aligned, not lost. I want you to hear this prophetic promise over your life. The hidden season is coming to a close. You have passed the discouragement test, and you have shown me your faithfulness in the little things. Now I am preparing to bring the promise to pass. The doors that have been bolted shut are beginning to creak open under the weight of my glory. The financial breakthrough that seemed impossible is already on the way. The restoration of that relationship is being orchestrated in the secret places. When you emerge from this night, you will possess a maturity and a character that can handle the weight of the massive blessing I am about to release. The waiting room was not a prison. It was a construction site where I was building the shoulders you need to carry your destiny. Tomorrow, the atmosphere of your life will be different because the atmosphere of your heart has been settled. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. These are not just words from a book. They are the beating pulse of my heart for you. I am the potter, and you are the clay. I have molded the pressure into power and the pain into a platform for my grace. As you prepare to close your eyes and drift into a sweet, deep sleep, know that I am already knocking on the door of your tomorrow. I am already standing in your future, making the crooked paths straight and the rough places smooth. You are protected by the blood of my Son, you are covered by the shadow of my wings, and you are cherished beyond human comprehension. Relax, my chosen one. Trust me. I am alive, I am here, and I am not through with you yet. Before you drift into the most peaceful sleep you have had in years, I invite you to seal this entire prophecy so that the enemy cannot steal the seeds we have planted. This is your final act of faith to lock this blessing into your life forever. Type Amen or It is done in the comments below to sign your name to this divine contract. Do not leave this sanctuary without ensuring you are part of this family. Press the like button to signal your total agreement with heaven and subscribe to this channel so you never lose this frequency of peace. Be a vessel of my light. Share this message with 3 people who are awake right now, carrying burdens they were never meant to bear. When you help others find their rest, I will ensure your dreams come to pass. Seal it now. It is finished. It is settled. Your miracle flow has begun.
Hmm. Mm-hmm.